So it's finally happened. The big release of the mobile game, Destiny Rising, and with it, a lot of controversy and a lot of positivity in my opinion. So I'll be honest, I didn't play this on release day or the following day. I've been playing it over the weekend. And tomorrow is, or when this video is being recording, tomorrow is the release of the raid. I probably won't be playing it on release, but I think this is a good time to give my personal thoughts and review of this mobile game, and just to give people an overall look at it. Now, I will be talking some spoilers, so if you care about that stuff, I do suggest you click away. Otherwise, continue watching. I will be discussing some story stuff as I haven't actually finished the story completely. I'm about halfway through as of right now. I'm about to enter the final area. But other than that, let's get straight into the video. So unlike other reviews, I think I want to start with my negative thoughts first and then go into my positive thoughts. The reason being is that my negative thoughts are a lot less than the positives of this mobile game. So first and foremost, I want to talk about the general menus in this game. They aren't great. I understand that it is a mobile game. It needs to be able to be accessed on a touchscreen. I've been playing on an emulator called Mumu Emulator, which is made by NetEase, and I'm being honest, if you have access to getting the emulator instead of playing on a phone device, do get it. It is significantly better on the emulator. But as I was saying, the menus can be a little bit confusing. There are a lot of menus to click through, especially when trying to find your heroes, as well as other things, because this is a hero game. This isn't like Destiny 2 where you have your character. You are given characters that are selective, and you play as those characters with unique abilities. Which kind of brings me to my second point, which is the loadout system in this game is not something that I enjoy. So the way it works is that each hero has has two weapons that they use. For example, I'm playing as Yolda in this clip. She has access to SMGs and swords. She is a close combat hero, and you use her in those close combat scenarios. Now, I would personally like the ability to choose whatever weapons I want to use. I understand that that's not how these types of systems work. So while I am saying that this is a negative for the game, it is also personal preference. And if I was more familiar with the gacha model of games, I'm sure that this is more common than I think it is. It's just a little annoyance generally. My second issue, and really the only other issue that I've kind of discovered at this point, is that the gunplay can feel a little bit clunky. But again, I do believe that this is specifically because it is a mobile game, or it is designed as a mobile game, meaning that things aren't going to run as smoothly as they would on an Xbox or a PC or a PlayStation. But generally, I haven't had much issue besides it feeling a little weird from time to time. It honestly feels great, and a lot of the time that I'm playing, I can't really tell I'm playing a mobile game. It's very obvious visually that it isn't designed for a PC or a console. It is designed for a mobile device, but they have done amazingly with the graphics, which leads me into my positive thoughts and everything that I want to talk about and cover. So starting out with graphics, the game looks pretty damn good. That is the only praise that I can say about this. It doesn't look bad in any capacity. It's not the most amazing looking game ever, but it is better than a lot of games. For example, that AAA King Kong game that came out last year or this year, that looked like shit. This looks like it could run on a console. But it is definitely Destiny. It looks like Destiny. It plays like Destiny. And the only big difference is the hero combat and the ability combat, which I'm going to talk about now. Because in normal Destiny 2, your abilities usually play second fiddle. It is mostly gunplay, followed by your abilities working with your perks that are on your guns. In this game, your abilities come back at double speed, and it is very, very ability heavy and ability focused. And your guns are usually the second option or the option to use when you're waiting for the recharge to come back. But they're also in your abilities. A lot of the abilities have instant resets if you do a certain thing. For example, the main character that you get is Wolf. They are the campaign character. And essentially, he has an ranged ability where if you kill a certain amount of enemies, you get that ranged ability back immediately, which I think is awesome. Now, all of the abilities are very, very unique, and if I'm being honest, I really hope they bring some of these abilities to Destiny 2. Once again, talking about Yolda, her Ward of Dawn allows you to shoot out of it, and it gives you auto-loading, which is so much fun to play with. I get it's a little bit overpowered, but it is very, very fun. It also doesn't last very long, which I think balances it a lot more than our current Ward of Dawn would if we were able to shoot out of it. There is also another character called Tan2, I think his name is. He is your solar warlock with not Ward of Dawn, with Well of Radiance. However, and this is how I think Bungie should go forward handling Ward of Dawn. One of his abilities is to switch between healing or damage. And depending on which one you pick, it affects your grenade ability. So you'll either have a healing grenade or you'll have a damaging grenade. It also affects your Well of Radiance. So you can have a healing Well of Radiance or a damage Well of Radiance. And I, honest to God, want them to bring that to Destiny 2, because that is how you balance Well of Radiance. Give us the option to run a damage well or a healing well, and it will be so much better. Instead of just constantly nerfing the healing and giving it no damage bonus, let us choose. The same way they could bring Yolda's super into Destiny 2 by saying you can have Bubble with high defense that you can't shoot out of, or minimal defense with a damage boost that you can shoot out of, or something along those lines. I think you get my point. These abilities are really, really fun to play with, and they absolutely need to bring these to Destiny 2 if they're able to, because I know that there is probably an issue with this being NetEase's property and not Bungie's, because they are only licensing the IP, not the in-game stuff. Now, I think would be a good time, before I start talking about the abilities, to talk about how you acquire heroes and weapons and all that stuff. So, how do you get heroes? It's a gacha game, you pull them out of loot boxes. It's not that difficult to understand. Do I like this system? No. I don't think anyone likes, spending money to get loot boxes, to get things faster. However, you do not have to spend money. There is a lot of materials in this game. I don't understand all of them as of right now, but I can tell you right now that a lot of the materials you can convert into other materials to get the gacha pulls. You will not get them anywhere near as fast as if you just spent real money, and that's kind of the trade-off that you have. But you can still get them without spending money. And I think that is a great thing to have, because it is more or less the Warframe solution, as I call it, where you don't have to spend money. You can get everything by playing for free. But if you want to speed up your process, you can spend for the currency, the paid currency, and speed your progress along. I do not, and I want to make this very, very clear, I do not not condone. I don't know what the word is. I'm not telling you to go spend your money to buy characters in this game. Do that if you want to. Don't come back to me and say I told you to do it, because I didn't. I spent some money to see how it worked. It is essentially exactly how you think it's going to work. But I would 100% suggest just playing the game how you want to. If you want to buy characters, buy characters. If you don't, you can get everything for free. As well as Wolf, who is, as I said, the first character you get and the one you play as. He is pretty powerful as he is. So you could honestly just play the game as Wolf and you would be fine. Now, talking about the activities, and my god, there are a lot of activities. They are all your standard type of Destiny activities. The one you're watching me play is called Realms of the Nine, which is I want to call it a speedrun mode. It's basically a boss rush where you go through waves and you have a certain time, and the better time you do, the better your rewards are. There's actually two versions of this. The one you're watching is the order one, which is where you just go through 10 waves. There is a chaos one where you can choose difficulty and modifiers and all of this other stuff. I haven't really interacted with it because I didn't really find it all that fun. I much preferred this one where I just select the boons as I go and I get to just kill bosses. But I can see the appeal in the chaos version. There is also, and I want to preface this, Gambit. It's back. We finally found where it went. It came to Destiny Rising. That's why it's not in Destiny 2 anymore. This Gambit mode is called Shifting Gates. It doesn't work the same way as Gambit. There are more teams involved. There is PvP involved, and it is slightly quicker than actual Gambit is. I think it is a better version of Gambit. I do see them implementing changes from this into normal Gambit, or at least I hope they do. Other than that, you have 3 modes. There is adventures, which are going to be your strikes, your missions, all that stuff. You have Shifting Gates, which is your Crucible, not Crucible, your Gambit. And then there is Casual, which will have your Gambit and other various casual activities in it. And when I say other various activities, it's going to be your PvP mode, Sparrow Racing League, fishing, because fishing exists, and dueling. Yep, that's right, there's a card game system in Destiny Rising that you can play. It's actually pretty fun, I'm not going to lie. Now, from what the developers said, there are going to be more activities coming at a later date. The raid is releasing tomorrow. I will probably have a separate video out at some point discussing the raid. I kind of want to have a little chat about combat as well, because if we talk about a clip that I'm going to place here, this is a tutorial. And the thing is that they have a tutorial for everything. Basically, they have a tutorial for champion types, because they do have champions in this game, but they aren't reliant on champion mods. You actually have to fight the champion a different way. For example, what I would associate with a barrier champion has a weak point on their head. That weak point takes more damage from precision weapons like scout rifles and sniper rifles than it does from shotguns. So you can destroy it quicker by doing that. And then that enemy will take more damage from precision weapons. This system, and there's a few of them, there's one that takes damage from blast radius guns. It is significantly better in my opinion. It makes dealing with enemies so much more interesting, as well as you have to be prepared to deal with certain types of enemies. And there are tutorials to everything. There's one for double jumping, for God's sake. Like, they've thought of everything in this game, if I'm being completely honest with you. Now, I've spoken a lot about this, and I'm just going to say now, I genuinely think I would rather play this mobile game than play Destiny 2. It is widely clear that Bungie have not wanted to listen to us for a while, and it really shows when a mobile game is at the same quality, if not better, than the mainline game that has been out for 10 years. Not throwing shade at Bungie, well, I kind of am, but the developers even put out a video just before launch explaining how they had reworked new or old systems into a better way from feedback. For example, the artifact that is on your characters was completely reworked between the final beta and the full release, and it's significantly better from what I can see. The developers are listening to the player base here. Now, there are, as I said, things I don't like. I don't like the gacha elements. I would rather have different ways to earn characters. But this is the style of game it is, and at the end of the day, I don't have to interact with those elements if I don't want to. I do think that this is the best way to play Destiny if you want to play. It might not look as good as the main game, but the main game's running on hardware that has 10 times the power. This game is designed to run on mobile devices. And from what they've done, it is insane in my opinion. I wouldn't say Destiny Rising is a perfect game, but it is on the better side. I'm willing to give it a 6 or a 7 out of 10, where I would give Destiny 2 at the current time about a 5. This game I've had a lot of fun in, and I've had more fun in this game in the last few days than I have in the last few years of Destiny. So if you have the time, if you want to go play more Destiny but more refined with a better story, I do suggest trying Destiny Rising, and I do suggest picking up the emulator. It is free and it is easy to use. But for those of you who have watched the video and played the game itself, do let me know what you think in the comments. I know that there are people who are going to say that, you know, I'm a shill or some shit along those lines, who knows. But, you know, play the game for yourself, give it a try. If you don't like it, that's fine. I think it's worth trying, at the very least. Anyway, have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next video. Do remember to like and subscribe.